This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is a great platform for building your online presence and running your business with websites, online stores, and marketing and analytics. So I wanted to make a video all about the truth about being an influencer, as that is kind of what I am, part of what I am, what I do. First off, let's define influencer. It's a term that was created by the marketing industry to describe creators, describe people with audiences online. It's not really a word that we came up with ourselves or used to define ourselves. It's basically in reference to our monetary value to the marketing industry and is solely about that and less to do with like actually what we make, who we're influencing, what we're influencing, and all of that. So I have a few gripes with the word influencer, but it is one that a lot of people understand and a lot of people use, so putting in that title for that SEO, baby. There are obviously all different kinds of influencers, and this video is mostly going to be about my experience of the last 10 years of being an influencer. I don't think that word even existed when I first started making YouTube videos, actually. I don't think it did. The word came about around like 2015, I think. So the kind of influencer that I am is the YouTube kind, the Instagram kind, the podcasting kind, and most of the content, the hashtag content that I put out there is about sex and relationships. So you could say I'm a sex influencer. I influence people's sex lives. And then obviously here on this channel, it's more like lifestyle, fashion, work, productivity, that kind of thing. Books, of course. So this industry that I'm in and have been in for like the last 10 years is very confusing to a lot of people. There's a lot of misconceptions, there's a lot of judgments, and also it's been kind of cool being in it for so long because you kind of see it changing and morphing into something new. Like it has changed so much over that time. And I wanted to take on a few different areas that some people think of when they look at influencers and like the influencer lifestyle. So a lot of people think that it looks really glamorous, that it's really easy money, you get lots of popularity and attention, and that's a great thing. You get lots of free stuff, you have so many cool friends, and you get lots of really cool and unique experiences. So here's the thing, it can be all of those things. It can. There is the possibility. However, I want to give a bit more of a realistic, holistic, overall view of what all of those different pieces can look like or have looked like for me in my experience. And here's the thing, everyone complains about their jobs. No matter what their job is, there will be something to complain about, even if it seems to be like on the surface like the most amazing, coolest dream job ever. Like there will be some downsides. And of course, I am so grateful that this is my job, but one of the downsides is that I feel some kind of pressure to say that I'm grateful. I'm like preempting the "you're an ungrateful bitch" response. So double-edged sword. Yes, I'm grateful, but I feel like I have to say that I'm grateful. So yes, let's take a little bit of a deep dive into my experience of an influencer and maybe give you a bit more of a behind the scenes understanding, because I know that a lot of people want to do this and I want people to be prepared, you know? I'm very passionate about people who are coming into this industry, like knowing their worth and like not getting fucked over, because that's a whole thing. And then also just like managing your expectations as well. So let's dive in. So is the job glamorous? Well, it definitely has its moments. I've been to many red carpet events, movie premieres. I've had my hair and makeup done for different photo shoots or video shoots. Getting my hair and makeup done is genuinely my favorite thing because it's not something that I'm very good at myself, and I love people touching my face and my hair. I know some people hate it, especially some influencer friends of mine who are really good at makeup. They don't like other people doing their makeup, but I'm just like, touch me, make me beautiful. But obviously that doesn't make up the bulk of my work, and it's maybe a few times a year, if that. Very few and far between. Maybe if you're a model influencer, you get that a whole lot more, but not little of me. So it does have its glamorous moments, but the majority of the time, it is really not glamorous. It is basically like any other office job, lots of desk work, lots of time spent doing emails, except you're all on your own. Like you're completely lonely. You do not have any colleagues. It's just you. Lots of back and forth correspondence. There's all of the prep work and then all of the like post work and then the actual like making of the stuff like goes in the middle. But everything that happens in order to make this happen, for you to see this, it's just me sat at a computer, except for obviously right now. Next up, easy money. Maybe. So once you get to a certain level in terms of number of followers or like your engagement rate, or if you're in like a really specific niche and you're like big fish, small pond kind of thing, you can charge a lot for a piece of work. For example, an Instagram post that maybe took you an hour to make, meaning that your hourly rate is huge. It's kind of ridiculous. However, what's not counted in that is all of the unpaid hours that you have put in building up that audience, building up your credibility, maintaining that audience, creating value for them, doing all of the stuff necessary that may have taken months, may have taken years to put you in a position where you can charge that much for a post. Also, one of the things that you might not know when it comes to brand sponsorships in the influencer marketing industry is that a lot of the fee isn't actually specifically about like posting the thing to your followers. Like that is the like advertising fee, like, and you have to post it on your accounts, but then the actual like production. So a lot of brands spend a lot of money and pay like whole production companies to create content for them to put on their own socials. And those production houses are like whole teams that charge a lot. Oftentimes the influencer is just one person. And so actually the brands are paying a whole lot less to the influencer than they would to like a production house to get the same thing, because the influencer is able to do it all themselves. So there's that, you're a production house making content for a brand. And then also there's usage rights and exclusivity. Now these things can be huge. Like for instance, if a sex toy brand wants to work with me, but they're like, you can't post about any other sex toys for an entire month, then that's a hit to my income. So I'm going to charge more for that sponsorship deal to make up for the fact that I'll be losing income because I can't promote any other sex toys during that time. That exclusivity is another piece of it. And then the usage rights is then if the brand wants to put paid advertising behind your content, and that is an extra fee. And often in your contract it's like for however many months, and then if they want to continue using your content where you talk about their product or their service, they then have to pay more if they want to extend it after that. So you can then get like potentially, if you've got a good manager, a good lawyer, and you get your contracts right, there is potential for like more income down the road and no extra work for you. So there's lots of different pieces at play when it comes to like, is it easy money? Is it not easy money? Obviously the main influencer money is through sponsorships. That's kind of mainly what I'm talking about here. There's obviously lots of other revenue streams. I've got lots of other revenue streams and I make a whole video about that every year. But when it comes to sponsorships, oh boy, there's negotiation. There's potentially getting fucked over. There's just like sometimes a lot of behind the scenes drama and stress. I have cried many times over brand deals. Because it's such a new industry, it definitely feels like one where the brands have the leverage and the creators and the influencers are pretty powerless in the relationships. I've had situations with brands making last minute demands that weren't in the contract, changing terms, completely unreasonable timelines, just like taking the piss. When you do get a brand or agency that gets it though and is easy to work with, oh boy, the dream. Wait, the video was all approved? First time? No edits? Honestly, the best feeling. And speaking of brands that are easy to work with and genuinely the best feeling, thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I have been using Squarespace for years. I host a whole bunch of my websites on Squarespace. It is a great platform for building your online presence and running your business. They have so many different themes and designs for you to choose from, so you can get that like aesthetic look, whatever it is that you're going for your website, for your brand. And you can customize it with your own brand colors, fonts, and pictures. And it's just really easy to make a beautiful website that represents you. You may have seen that we recently rebranded my podcast, Doing It, and gave the website a little spruce up, which is hosted on Squarespace. And you can check it out now. We've got episode pages, transcript pages. We've got starter packs. If you're new to the podcast and you're like, where do I begin? There's so many episodes. And it was super easy on Squarespace just to make everything look how we wanted. And Squarespace has really powerful analytics tools so you can learn how people are interacting with your content, traffic sources, how much time they spend on your website, audience geography, and loads more useful insights. So head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, you can use my discount code squarespace.com/morehannah for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Next up is the lots of popularity and attention. And this, for me, is the most insidious one. It can feel nice for a time and in small doses. I think a lot of people who do start posting things online in whatever way, shape or form that is, have some element of craving attention and wanting to be the center of attention. I will not deny that. Like, that is in my blood. I have been this way since I was a child. Put me in a room, I will be the performing monkey for you. But guess what? Not everyone is going to like you. People will have judgments not just about the content that you share, but your personal life choices, and they will tell you about it. Hearing tens or hundreds or thousands of people's opinions who you don't know about your choice to start a family, your choice of paint color to paint your bedroom wall, what books you read, what you're wearing, what your body looks like, how you spend your time, who you're friends with. Hearing all of that, I don't think is normal or good for you. Attention is very much a double-edged sword, and this is the part of the job that definitely gets to my mental health the most. Because it's so turbulent, it's completely up and down. You stay for the good times, but the bad times can just completely destroy you, which I've just realized describing this is like textbook abusive relationship. At my worst, I've definitely had moments of just wanting to quit and disappear from the internet together and just start over and have a quiet life. But here I am, still here. And the things that genuinely make me want to stay is just like nerding out about sex online with lots of people. I believe that the work that I do is important, and I've been managing my own relationship with social media. So for instance, I spend a lot more time in my Patreon like private Discord server when I want to connect with my audience and I want to chat with people, rather than in the big like public sphere of social media and just like putting things out into the void. And another thing with popularity and attention is that it gives you a lot of power. And a great man once said, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's something that I've really lived by and taken very seriously since people started to listen to what I had to say on the internet. However, it is exhausting. And I never want to not take the responsibility seriously, but I do wish sometimes I could just run and hide from the responsibility sometimes. Let's talk about the free stuff. The free stuff. Okay, this one is kind of cool until it gets annoying, but you're not allowed to say that out loud because saying that getting free stuff is annoying sounds ungrateful. And you don't want to be an ungrateful influencer. But I remember having this realization once I've gotten to a stage in my career where I was receiving free stuff from brands, like free books or free sex toys or clothes sometimes, makeup sometimes, that it's all part of this culture of celebrity. And it was honestly infuriating because as soon as I was in a position where I could actually afford to buy these things myself, suddenly I was being given them for free. And I was like, this is what happens with all of the big celebs. I'm talking like the Kardashians, the Hollywood stars, you know, like that kind of level. Just like you can afford everything, but you don't have to pay for anything. And I honestly think that's fucked up. And I understand why this system exists, because these people have large audiences. You send them free stuff and then they wear it or they talk about it. And then the people that follow them will be exposed to your brand and then maybe they will buy it. But these people are getting free stuff, and I'm including myself in these people getting free stuff, not paying for it, but I'm in a position where I can afford it. And then everyone else is having to buy it. Oh, it's so icky. It makes me feel so icky. But a big part of my job is receiving free PR gifts or free product as part of a brand deal as well. And it's just like, it's messy. But one of the things that over time has just grated and grated and grated on me is unsolicited gifts. At some point, my addresses were just like on PR lists and I would just be sent stuff without even like asking for it or being told like, hey, can we send you something? It just stuff would show up that I did not want it's completely wasteful. And sometimes there's like this like pressure and expectation and demand. And I'm always very clear, like, you send me free stuff, there is no guarantee that I will post about it. And pretty much now, like, if I'm ever sent unsolicited gifts, I like refuse to post about it because I'm like, I didn't ask for this. This is so wasteful and so rude. And then a lot of the time I'm like, I'm not going to use any of these products. They could have gone to a better home. And I'm like trying to be more sustainable also in my lifestyle, and it makes me feel so icky. But saying that, you'll probably still see occasionally on my Instagram stories being like, thanks for the book, because I do often ask for free books. This whole industry is just a very weird culture, but also it's nothing new because it's just a microcosm of celebrity culture. How do you feel about it? That's what I want to know, because this is how I feel about it on the like influencer side of things. But like, how do you feel about it? Anyway, cool friends. Become an influencer. You're friends with all the other cool influencers. Oof, what a time. So the cool friends thing is actually the reason I started making YouTube videos, because I was a fan. I was a fan of a whole bunch of vloggers, and I deciphered that they were all friends with each other because they all met because they made videos. And so I was like, well, if I'm gonna become friends with them, then I should start making videos. Genuinely, what happened? Did I become friends with some of them? Yes, I did. Follow your dreams, people. So the cool friends thing I find hard to criticize because it is one of my weaknesses, for sure. But now with a bit of hindsight and like over the years, over the past 10 years, I strongly value my relationships and my friendships with my non-internet friends. Like, those people help to keep me grounded. I'm like, oh, friends with normal jobs, what's that like? It's good to hear those stories, hear those concerns that they have, listen to them, you know, talk about their jobs and their lives. Like, it's humbling. And also those people are obviously great. And not all cool people are internet celebs, and not all internet celebs are cool people. But with the friendships that I have made from making YouTube videos and just being an online person, it's really nice to have people to talk to about this industry. Like, all of this stuff, these are conversations that me and my friends are having, and I think they're important to have, because it's like, how do we navigate this industry ethically? And things have definitely changed. Like, at the beginning of a lot of those friendships, like anytime we hung out, it would be documented, it would be vlogged, it would be posted online, we would like collab and make videos together all of the time. And now, just forget. Often rarely even like take photos together just for us. If I was being savvy, just be like, come on, let's post all that content. But I don't know, maybe that's getting older, I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm very grateful for the internet and for YouTube, because I've met some of my best friends through doing that. And obviously, I think they're very cool people, but they're cool people because I know them and I know what makes them great people. And it's not like what I just see of them online anymore. Another thing that we see a lot of influencers doing is having lots of very cool experiences. So this might be like PR invites to events, or like travel opportunities and things like that. And this is another one that is very cool. Genuinely, yes, this is a great perk to the job, until a point. Through doing this as my job, I've had so many amazing travel opportunities and have just made amazing memories. And like, some of the trips that I've been on, I'm just like, that was so cool. Like, I can't believe I got to do that. I got to have a helicopter ride over the Grand Canyon. What? And I definitely took advantage and made the most out of all of those invites and opportunities that I got when I had them, because then I got tired, I didn't have the time, and also the invites just dried up because, you know, I wasn't as popular anymore. And so I took advantage whilst I could, whilst those invites were coming in. In terms of time, I was just working more, I was building more stuff and creating more things. And so going on a free trip would have taken time away from doing that, and it would basically have been like taking unpaid time off work. And it got to a point where I actually couldn't like afford to go on a lot of those trips anymore because I needed to work. Obviously, if you're a travel influencer, then that is like actually part of your job. Whereas for me, it was just like the little cherry on top. It was just like this like added bonus thing of like, oh, I can do this as well. And then it was like, oh wait, no, I can't. I've got other work to do. Another thing about some press trips, like some have been incredible, but others, they just have like a really strict and rigid itinerary and you can't really do a lot. And it's like from sunrise to sunset, this is what you're doing. We're going here, we're going here, we're going here. I remember once being on a bus and we had a stop at a beach and we were like above the beach on a cliff and it was like, this is the beach, right? You've got 10 minutes to take photos and it's like, we don't get to go to the beach. It's just like, nope, just look at the beach from up here and then back on the bus. And it was like, okay. Which I feel like I have to acknowledge is a ridiculous thing to be complaining about because I was on a free trip and there were nice beaches. But I don't know, it's weird, it's weird. So I think in conclusion, we can just say that this whole industry is just a bit weird. It's a bit messy. I don't think many people like truly understand it. Even me who's in it, I'm like, how do I feel about this? I don't know because this thing is really cool. But then like, this is like the weird kind of like dark, ugly side of that. And like, this wasn't very fun, but I don't feel like I'm allowed to complain about that because then I'll be seen as ungrateful. Blah. So those are some of my thoughts and experiences of being an influencer. Maybe you learned something about this, or maybe you're just like, shut up, stop complaining. You have a great job. You're super privileged. And I'm like, valid. I genuinely am curious to know what you think about the influencer industry, influencer marketing, the influencers that you follow on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, and how you feel about how that relationship plays out. I'm genuinely really interested. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.